Hello, everyone. It's another lovely Wednesday morning. And guess what? We are now on our last session for the Digital Tayo training series. This series is brought to us by Digital Tayo from Facebook in collaboration with DICT Cybersecurity Bureau and DICT Mindanao Cluster 1. So we've been together for the last 3 weeks, every Wednesday, except for the first session we had tackled about how to be a critical thinker, how to be a magalang digital citizen, and our recent episode was about digital parenting. So for those who missed our past sessions, you may watch the replay on our DICT Mindanao Cluster 1 Facebook page. So all right, for this final episode, our topic is Maingat, protecting our digital footprint. Welcome po sa lahat, especially sa ating avid participants who are with us since the first episode. So let's check how many participants we have at the moment. So sa Zoom, we have 500 participants. And for DICT Mindanao Cluster 1 page, ilan na ba ang Facebook viewers natin? Around 800 viewers. So we are also live on DICT Cybersecurity and the Department of Information and Communications Technology pages. So, by the way, this is May and I am your host for today. This is your Department of Information and Communications Technology, the government's lead agency for advancing the ICT development agenda. And we are from DICT Mindanao Cluster 1, which covers Zamboanga Peninsula, Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi. For the information of everybody, your DICT MC1 is globally recognized as world champion at World Summit and Information Society Prizes 2020 under e-employment category for generating an accumulated income of 1.5 million every month for freelancers who use our ICT hub. So before we start, let us open the session with a prayer. Let us all put ourselves in the holy presence of the Lord. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear God, we thank you for this morning. We thank you for the gift of technology that helps us adapt and thrive in this new normal. We surrender to you our virtual learning experience today. May you grant our speaker the discernment and clarity to share to us his insights. As we listen, expand our ability to consume new ideas. As the world continues to battle with this pandemic, we ask for your utmost mercy, your healing power for those who are sick, and your faithful shield to protect us all always, especially those in the medical field. We commit to you the rest of the time in Jesus' name. Amen. And of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Good morning once again. So did you know that every time you access the internet or every time you have online presence, you're leaving a digital footprint? The data from your online activities can be used against you or for a different purpose, which could compromise your privacy and security. So the question now is, how can we protect our digital footprint to prevent this from happening? So this is going to be the topic for today. But before that, first things first. So baka memorize niyo na to. Our reminders. Keep your mic on mute at all times. Interact with us through the chat box or when there are online tools. You may raise your questions while the session is ongoing. So for our Zoom participants, you may use the Q&A box. And for Facebook Live viewers, you may just type in your questions on the comment section. So we will collect the questions for our speakers. So however, we may not be able to entertain all the questions, but we really encourage everyone to raise their questions. And have a bottle or glass of water with you. Hydrate every now and then. Stay hydrated, guys. Activities for the day, question and answer portion. So that would be happening after the session. So our speaker will be answering live the questions, and quiz and evaluation for certificates. Webinar FAQs. Again, we already have a pinned post on our DICT Mindanao Cluster 1 page regarding the frequently asked questions. However, I'd like to emphasize again on the receiving of the certificate. So 70% is the passing score for our quiz and evaluation. And please make sure to type in the correct spelling of your email addresses and also the correct spelling of your names. It's very important that you type in the correct spelling of your email addresses, because otherwise you will not be able to receive your certificate. So I guess that would be all. So now let's begin. So our speaker for today is quite familiar to, if not all, some of us, because he was with us on the second session, and it's so nice of him to be with us again today. So he is a digital tayo trainer, and he is a youth empowerment advocate and skills development trainer. With an extensive background on youth development and engagement, Chard used to lead Youth Vote Philippines as the coalition lead convener and spokesperson in both 2016 and 2019 national elections. Currently, he focuses his engagement on freelance works, particularly on content development and content management. He used to work as the former program manager for the ASEAN Youth Community, communications manager for YGOL Incorporated, president of Philippine Leadership at Empowerment Alliance for Development Incorporated, and he is currently one of the skills development trainers for Facebook Digital Tayo campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our speaker for today, Mr. Chard Amazona. Sir, take it away.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Miss May, and good morning to all our viewers for this morning. So, again, as mentioned by Miss May, today is actually our last module for the day, and we are hoping that you would be able to enjoy more of our discussions ngayong umaga. At matutuwa nga kami dahil nga this would be a good discussion point for all of us dahil mahalaga na pag-uusapan natin ngayong araw itong tinatawag natin ng pagiging maingat, being part of our, ano nga ba yung pag-uusapan natin, ano ba yung digital footprint, ano nga ba yung kailangan nating malaman para mas lalong maging maayos ang ating pakikisalamuha, no, with our online community. And as mentioned with previous sessions as well, diba, we're always saying then that this is actually an initiative, no, for Digital Tayo, from Facebook, wherein we wanted to build a community responsible for being a responsible digital citizens. And as part of our commitment to really build a global community, we wanted to really build on awareness. No? When we talk about awareness, it also includes developing learning modules, providing you global resource for that matter. And syempre, we wanted to also educate you guys, to educate all of us, educate Filipinos, to really be part of the movement, no? As part of being program partners, we are actually doing a lot of workshops and training sessions, and it actually came from different processes, no? From thought leadership, outputs from the different steering committee, as well as digital voices. And here in the Philippines, our main effort is to always focus on these three things: building awareness, learning modules, and resources. And with that, we actually partnered with a number of organizations and collaborators who are actually moving forward to create a community of digital citizens. Ne? So at this case, we would like to thank, of course, the Department of Information and Communications Technology, especially with Mindanao Cluster 1, for always providing this kind of enabling space for all of us, especially right now that we are still facing uncertainties because of the calamity that we are facing right now. But beyond that, what we are looking forward is that hindi tayo hihinto because of this kind of struggle, but rather we wanted to really push through with conversations, providing you with a lot of learning outputs and training outputs as well that will allow us to really improve ourselves while we are actually staying in the comforts of our homes, o kaya naman with our offices, especially that majority of the communities in the Philippines right now, it's either in GCQ already or the MGCQ. And with that, again, let's just recap then, as part of our discussion for the past weeks already, when we talk about digital citizen, a person is actually considered as a digital citizen when someone or he or she is actually confidently using digital technologies to understand information online and interacting positively with others. So ibig sabihin, when we talk about someone who uses platforms such as Facebook, such as Zoom as well, we consider them as part of the digital citizen. And ano nga ba yung kailangan nating pagandaan when we talk about this kind of things? And how to be really a responsible digital user? So when we want to create a safe online environment, we are actually focusing now on this discussion, which is pagiging maingat and which mainly focuses more on our digital footprint. And ano nga ba yung kailangan nating malaman as part of our discussion for this morning? Number one, we will be talking about what is actually a digital identity. So, syempre, when we talk about digital identity, everything, all that we post, enter, and share using the internet actually becomes part of our digital identity. And aside from that, syempre, dahil nga nagiging parte na ng discussion ngayon, dahil sa parte ng ating new normal, is how can we actually protect our digital identity? So dito pag-uusapan natin how do we adjust our privacy settings and how we would be able to reflect on what should we need to do or what should not be done when we are actually posting online. But before anything else, sa lahat ng ating 1 million viewers, 1 million na, 1,000 and more viewers from Facebook page as well as here on Zoom. Again, magandang umaga po. I am Shard Amazona. And before we proceed with our discussion for this morning, magkakaroon muna tayo ng pre-test. Alright? So, ngayon, as we proceed with our discussion later on, I'll be giving you actually 5 minutes para sagutan yung ating pre-test. So, paano ba natin gagawin yon? Ngayon, maaari po nating i-open ng inyong Facebook Messenger. And through that, you can search our digital tayo sa search bar as you are seeing now in your screens. And syempre, once we're able to really see yung digital tayo, we will be answering some questions. Okay? And with that, I hope na lahat tayo ay ready na. And if you are already, gusto kong makita yung comment natin both in Zoom and Facebook Live. If we are all ready to answer our pre-test, please do type #digitaltayo. Ayan, para makita natin at malaman natin kung handang-handa na nga ba tayo ngayong umaga on a Wednesday morning, syempre, in the month of August. Alright. So we are meron tayong mga nakikita na din. Shout out tayo from the different representatives from different offices as well as individuals who are actually watching us right now. So ayan, may nakikita tayo ng mga na-comments and all. So bibigyan ko po kayo again ng 5 minutes to really answer the question. And don't forget to use our pre-test learn code for this morning. So it is AHA RA01. All right. So since all of us are ready now, so your 5 minutes will start now. So if you have some comments or questions, again, don't forget to write it down sa comment section natin below as we are actually seeing your comments. And later on, if you have some questions or clarifications, we will try to answer them as we proceed with our discussion this morning. Okay. So para sa mga kakapasok lamang, don't forget to check now your Facebook Messenger and type Digital Tayo in the search bar. And once you were able to see the Digital Tayo business page, you can now answer the questions. But don't forget to answer use our pre-test learn code for this morning. It's AHA RA01. All right. So we have 4 minutes left before we proceed with our discussion for this morning. At sa mga kapasok lamang, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. And shout out din tayo to 1,000 viewers. Ayan. Ayan, good morning. Sige, greet muna tayo ng mga participants. Good morning po sa inyong lahat. Ayan, pagkatapos na kayo with your test, ayan, please, we can type #DICT. Ayan, para malaman natin. Ayan, so sa mga nagkakaroon ng problema, may nakalagay, sabi dito, you are already finished with this test. Again, sa mga tapos na po na makapag-answer, okay lang po yan. So we will be entertaining at least the first time viewers for the session. So use lang our pre-test learn code, it's AHARA01. If you're done, please do type hashtag DICT. All right, thank you very much. May mga tapos tayo. So tapos na sila Sir John Michael, Miss Maria Flor de Liza, Sir Zed. Ayan, basta sa mga nahihirapan po, so we have 2 more minutes. Sa mga nahihirapan para ma-access yung ating pre-test for this morning, punta lang po tayo sa Facebook Messenger and then let us all type digital tayo without the quotation marks. And of course, may kita po ninyo as you can see in our screen, yung digital tayo page. And then with that, you can proceed now answering the questions. And don't forget to please include our correct learn code for this morning because we won't be able to answer your question or feedback later on. Okay? Ayan, madami-dami na rin mga nakakatapos. So we have 1 minute and 20 seconds left. So don't forget as well, later on, we will have another test. And as mentioned kay Miss May, mahalaga that we would be able to really answer the questions. Madali lang naman yung mga questions at yun yung mga pag-uusapan din natin for this morning. So sa mga kakapasok lang, you still have 30 seconds left. The correct code is actually IHARA01. Ayan, para sa mga nagtatanong po. Last 10 seconds to all of us. All right, so we're done now with RA01 po. Ayan. Hindi po O, it's 01. Yan. So now we will now proceed with our discussion for this morning. Again, for those who were able to check, please don't forget to use our pre-test learn code and don't forget to note it later kasi gagamitin din po natin yan with our post-test after the session. But let us now proceed with our discussion for this morning. And kanina, di ba, again, sa mga kakapasok lamang po, welcome to our discussion for this morning. And we are looking forward that you would be able to have a good opportunity for all of us and magkaroon tayo ng pag-uusap para mas lalo pa nating mapaliwanagan paano nga ba tayo maging maingat with respect to our digital presence. So this time, we will be talking about our tracks online. At sa mga kapasok, ako po ulit si Chard Amazona. And we will be also looking at the possibility of when we talk about tracks online, di ba? Everything that we actually put in the internet becomes part of our digital footprint, no? And our tracks online can be any behavior that we do online. So something such as posting videos, posting comments, as well as sharing contents. Then it also leaves a mark depending on how we manage our information. So always remember when we talk about our tracks online, our digital footprint, everything that we do in the internet becomes part of our digital footprint. And with that, it is very important that we learn ano ba yung mga sinishare natin, ano ba yung information that we share about ourselves, and sino-sino dito yung merong mga access in terms of those information. So for example, diba, the things that we are actually posting online includes profile and our personal information. Some of us puts our birthday as well as our pictures. And syempre sometimes, diba, as part of our connecting or connection with other communities or our groups, we are putting in our names as well as our designations kung saan man tayo nag-work. Especially right now, that in the new normal, everything is already in the online platform. So some of us or majority of us na working online already. And with that, we would be able to see na we are actually sharing part of our discussion, part of ourself. And aside from that, part ng ating sinishare online about ourselves includes then yung posts natin. Diba? Especially as we prepare for things like this in the future, most of us are actually posting some of our messages, especially if we are actually part of certain digital groups. Kung meron kayong, if you're a business owner, meron kayong access with respect to your customers, or if you are an employee on a certain organization or from government, we are actually utilizing the Facebook groups as part of our communication. And part of our sharing of ourselves, syempre, yung mga contents that we do share and we do like. Diba? At mahalagang tandaan natin that all of these things, the personal information that we are sharing, the posts that we are sharing, messages as well as contents that we share and like, the people who have access on it are actually our online friends and our relationships. Diba? And when we do that, diba, kung makikita natin sa Facebook friends natin, some of us will already have more than 3,000. Some of us have already 5,000 friends already. So everything that we post publicly is actually seen by our friends and relationships, our online friends. And when we do that, meron ding different ways on actually accessing information about us. So some things such as the images, our social media accounts. Syempre, yung school natin, di ba? When we were still studying, some of them have access with our information. Lalo na yung mga birth certificate, some of us are actually providing them before. As well as, syempre, for job opportunities, our employers have copies of our curriculum vitae and our resumes. Diba? And if we are actually active in social media, especially now online, kung meron tayong mga normal interviews and normal engagements such as this, it becomes part of our footprint. So news stories can be ways that other people or the public would be able to know about us. And crucial right now is our community or social group. So if we join a number of groups, kunwari, professional engagement or professional development, especially during lockdown in the previous months, syempre sumali tayo with the different groups. So more importantly, the things that we post online or the things that we joined with respect to groups or information that is actually about us can be accessed by the public when we put it in public. And as part of our digital footprint as well, the goal for this morning discussion is to really consider or ask the question, how are we able to protect our digital identity? Diba? Para sa mga kapasok lamang po this morning, just a recap, when we talk about our digital footprint is everything or anything that we post online, share online, react online. And kakaakibat po ng discussion ng ating digital footprint is really protecting our digital identity. And alam natin, there are different ways in terms of we shop, diba? Like for example, here in Metro Manila, there is actually a difficulty in going out, lalo na kung weekends, because kung mag-shopping or mag-grocery, masyadong mahaba yung pila. So some of the innovators that we have right now already developed different platforms such as online shopping, diba? So some of us, hindi na kailangan lumabas ng bahay, we can actually shop online and then i-deliver na lang sa atin. And part of our work, especially for those who are in the government sector, is to really inform our public. Therefore, isang malaking question is really protecting our digital identity. So this time, let us now talk about how we can secure our information online. So just to share with you this morning, we have three ways to protect our digital identity or your digital identity. So number one is really choosing the content that you show to other people. Siyempre, part din ng ating protecting our online personality is be wary of abusive content. Diba? There are contents na minsan because we like a certain page or a certain group or we join with a certain group, meron tayong makikita ng mga contents that sometimes affects us as we perform our daily functions. So take note that we need to be wary of our abusive content, especially if it's affecting our mental health. Mahalaga na we are always doing this kind of things, and that's actually part of our ways to really protect our digital identity. And syempre, when we talk about our online presence, when we talk about our digital identity, our digital footprints, kaakibat din dito yung securing our respective accounts. So pag-uusapan natin yan for this morning. So number one, just to give a dig deeper with our discussion, first is choosing the content that we show to other people. Always remember that as part of an online community, always, ayan, hindi, tadaan po natin when we talk with a number of people, when we engage with them online, please do take note that it is very important to be on our authentic self. Let us not use fake names or profiles kasi it will mislead other people into believing na ay hindi pala kayo totoo. No? And as part of the new normal, kailangan nating masanay at maging adaptive with respect to our environment. Hence, it's very crucial that we consider our online profiles as authentic as possible. And syempre, when we talk about choosing the content that we show to people, it is very important that we know different ways to report. If we feel that the content is affecting our mental health, the content is affecting our professional lives or personal lives, so please do not forget to use the report functions on the different platforms. And syempre, as a reminder to all of us, parang, di ba, kung dati, the normal things that we do when we attend conferences, when we connect, when we network with a number of people or a lot of people, we always choose our friends wisely. So, dito din sa online platform, meron din tayong ganong capability. That is by way of really adding or accepting friend requests. And syempre, kaakibat din ng pag-accept ng friend requests, syempre yung pag-unfriend, unfollow, or block. So when we unfriend people, it only means that we don't want to be connected with them anymore. And if we unfollow, syempre, it only means that we don't want to see yung mga posts din ng mga tao that we unfollowed. Or sometimes if we feel or if the account or person is really affecting us, we need to block them. No? And syempre, as a reminder as well, when we choose our friends, kaakibat din dito is choosing our audience wisely. So, as a reminder to all of us, please do be careful with what we share online. Ngayon, maraming Pilipino ang laging nagtatanong, kailangan ko bang i-share lahat ng nakikita ko social media? Sa social media, again, kailangan natin maging critical thinker when we do those things. Kasi, there are groups or certain people that will use different information just to affect you as well. Kaya mahalaga that when we post anything or contents online, we also need to check with our audience. Ito bang content na ito should be given publicly? Or ito bang content na to should be filtered with our friends only? Or our personal connections or certain groups that we are connected with? So mahalagang tandaan natin yan when we talk about choosing the content that we show to the public or the people as well. And always remember in Facebook, meron tayong tinatawag na Facebook Community Standards. So kung meron tayong sa government employees, 'di ba, meron tayong civil service rules that governs us as when we do our platforms or when we do our functions in our everyday work. And for those people naman who are employed in the private sector, we have what we call the code of conduct. And in Facebook, meron din tayo yan. Sa Facebook, this is what we call the Facebook Community Standards. So, the Facebook Community Standards is our code of conduct or for students who are still learning, student handbook yung counterpart niya with that matter. And the Facebook Community Standards outline provides us ano ba yung meron at ano ba yung hindi dapat gawin when we are part of the community. And itong mga policies na ito ay inclusive in terms of including different views, as well as beliefs, as well as people and communities that might otherwise be overlooked and considered to be marginalized. As we go into the new normal, as we embrace this kind of responsibility, mahalaga that we need to be informed of this kind of rules. Siyempre, di ba? And if you wanted to know more about it, you can actually check it in with our Facebook apps, or you can link to www.facebook.com/community standards. Now, pasok tayo with respect to sanctions, just in case. So again, as part of the Facebook community standards, Facebook is always serious when we talk about removal of content. So if we make hate speech or sometimes share contents that do not address yung, kumbaga, karapatang pantao din ng ating mga viewers or listeners, or if not, mga friends natin, it can be considered as a spam, kunwari, di ba? It can be removed based on Facebook community standards. Siyempre, kapag nag-violate din tayo ng community standards, mahalaga din that may possibility na kapag repeater po tayo ng mga ganitong mga pag-share ng mga information na hindi totoo, ganyan, o kaya nagkaroon tayo ng cyberbullying engagements with our viewers or audience, our account may be compromised. So may be deleted as part of the Facebook community standards. So Facebook is always re-evaluating our respective accounts, including the Instagram as well. Kaya mahalaga that we follow the community standards because we wanted to create a positive online community. And second point that we would like to share for this morning is we need to be wary of our abusive or be wary of different abusive contents. When we talk about abusive contents, we consider things such as yung scamming or money theft and identity theft. And syempre yung phishing, yung, di ba, recently, as part of our social media monitoring, di ba, merong mga Pilipino ngayon, especially who are part of the MSMEs, micro, small, medium enterprises, who are creating Facebook pages as part of their community profiles. Merong ilan din na mga sellers, tayo mismo, di ba, as consumers, minsan may mga nag-send sa atin ng mga scam attempts, di ba, such as money theft, o kaya minsan magpapakilala na this is the owner or the manager of a certain business. And yung iba naman, we receive different information online through our emails that ask us our personal information or financial information. So tandaan po natin that those kinds of activities should really be put priority for all of us. We put premium to our security, kaya mahalaga na aware tayo, critical thinking and heightened awareness yung importante when we meet these kinds of opportunities sa ating buhay. Ngayon, nasa online platform tayo, mahalaga na aware tayo with this one. And syempre, part din ng when we talk about abusive contents is our power. We are actually empowered by the Facebook community as well as the social media platforms to really report abusive contents. So, laging tandaan po natin ang guidelines lang natin na nakapaloob, especially on Facebook, can be seen as part of our Facebook community standards. Sa money theft, just a reminder, diba, ito yung mga pagkakataon when someone asks our bank information to steal our money. O kaya naman, identity theft is merong mga tao nagpapakilala that sila daw yun or nagkaroon ng mga accidents and whatnot. So be wary of this kind of contents lang. And syempre, as part of our ways to really protect our digital identity is by securing our respective accounts. So I understand some of us might have different gadgets that we are using for work, some for personal use. But always remember, when we use a number of gadgets, let us practice as part of our new normal guidelines for our self monitoring ay to always secure our log in and log out functions. Marami sa atin, yung iba na nag-a-attempt, siguro dahil syempre ngayon pwede tayong kumamit or makihiram ng mga gadgets with our family members. Sometimes we wanted to check lang our respective emails or social media accounts. Pero minsan nakakalimutan din natin mag-log out. So always remember that. Okay? Pagka hindi po natin pagmamayari yung gadgets or nakikigamit lang tayo like laptops or office laptop or office computer, and dahil kailangan nyo mag-double check ng post in social media or mag-check ng yung respective emails, do not forget to always log out your accounts. And syempre, ito yung isa sa mga problema ngayon ng mga Pilipino, using stronger passwords or strong passwords. In the previous discussions na kita nyo naman that when we talk about strong passwords or when we talk about stronger passwords, ayan, it's always a combination of numbers, letters, and characters. At mahalaga, when we use Facebook as well, we also use those passwords, yung stronger passwords, because again, dahil nga ngayon, mas lahat tayo ay online na, everything is communicated online, we wanted to protect our accounts. And by way of doing that is using combinations ng numbers, letters, and characters, either in small caps or big caps. And in Facebook, how do we do that? So when we wanted to really double check our login and log out alerts, we can check with the application or sa mismong Facebook website as well that we can activate our login alerts. So dito, when we enable our login alerts, we provide ourselves the premium security na kung may biglang mag-access ng hindi natin nalalaman dahil dinecode yung password natin o kaya mahaba yung mabilis malaman yung password natin, we will be informed about it. So we can check it sa platform. We can enable that after this session. Double check natin, magkaroon tayo ng pag-review ng ating account. And mahalaga that we also consistently create our security checkup. Sa Facebook, diba? But once we open our platforms or kapag nag-log out tayo sa accounts natin at nag-log in tayo ulit, there is always a security checkup feature na kung saan it allows us to monitor and protect our accounts. So, pwede natin gamitin yan para malaman natin kung meron bang nag-access ng mga accounts natin na hindi natin nalalaman. Okay. So, you can check it later on para mas lalong maging makatotohanan yung pinag-uusapan din natin for this morning. Another thing that you can also protect our account is activating our 2FA. Ang tawag natin dito ay 2FA, or in other terms, we call it as two-factor authentication. The two-factor authentication is our added security. Kumbaga, binuboost din natin ito yung security natin na just in case hindi tayo makapag-access ng ating ibang platforms or ng email, let's say, pwede natin i-activate tong two-factor authentication para as added protection for all of us. Kasi sa 2FA po, we would be able to have that opportunity na kung saan merong magbibigay sa atin ng code if someone is accessing our accounts na hindi registered with, na hindi natin in-approve para magdagdag ng security. Ito po yung mga binibigay sa atin na code na kung saan kailangan nating
Nakasunod ko.
natin. So mahalaga na we take notice kinds of tips kasi it will help us protect our digital identity. So going back with creating stronger passwords, make sure lang that we always use combination of small and big letters. And meron tayong different characters. So we maximize the use of numbers, we maximize the use of symbols like punctuation marks. Ayan, kasi it will also mahirapan yung hacker kung meron man in accessing our respective accounts. And always remember po, when we create our passwords, kailangan po at least, ngayon ang standard na ay at least 8 characters. 8 characters more. Kung more than 8 characters, mas better. Mahirapan yung hacker na ma-decode yung mismong account natin. And dito, we also protect our self din, just in case na biglang mabilis. Ito, isang mga normal na ginagawa or nagagawa ng mga Pilipino because masaya tayo sa mga birthdays natin o kaya sa mga apelido natin, ganyan. We use our surnames or our birthdays as our passwords. So again, always remember, in the new normal, creating stronger passwords means creating safe spaces for all of us. And by doing that is wag nating padaliin ang buhay ng mga gustong mag-access ng mga information natin online by giving our birthday and surname and using it as our passwords. All right? So, as part din ng discussion din natin, thirdly, syempre securing our respective accounts. As part ng pag-secure ng account natin, syempre yung sharing or setting our location privacy. Diba? Yung ilan sa ating mga Pilipino kapag natutuwa, lalo na kapag pupunta tayo sa kung saan, nag-share tayo ng locations natin. So always remember, let us look into that, yung location privacy natin. Sino lang ba ang dapat makakita kung nasaan tayo? Because it might add actually danger to all of us. Second is checking our privacy settings. Always, kanina sinabi ko sa inyo, always remember to conduct privacy check-ups. Kung kaya po natin gawin once a month, better. Kung twice a month, mas maganda. Pero kung kaya natin gawing weekly at meron tayong spare time to really check our privacy settings, mas maganda po na na we also put that as part of our schedule. Because that way, hindi tayo mahihirapan na matulog sa gabi just in case merong biglang may gustong mag-hack ng accounts natin. At we create that safe feature for all of us. And syempre, checking our security settings is very, very, very important. Kasi kapag hindi po tayo kalmado o hindi tayo panatag na secure yung mga accounts natin, mahirapan tayo pag magkakaroon tayo ng problema in the future. Diba? What if biglang dahil gusto natin mabilis lang or madali lang, what if ginamit natin na passwords natin, yung surnames lang natin, yun pala nakalink yung account ninyo to your bank accounts, to your online bank accounts, ibang mga online platforms ninyo, hindi nyo na ma-access kasi na-open na yung mismong account. So, again, we are discussing it because we wanted all of us to be safer this time. And as part of protecting our digital identity, sa mga gustong magkaroon ng more readings as well, we can check our link na www.facebook.com/about/basics para magkaroon tayo or following these steps. So you can click dun sa platform natin or sa application natin, yung burger icon or yung 3 lines at the top right-hand corner of our Facebook, and please do click our privacy shortcuts. So, kung hindi nag-prompt sa screen niyo yung checking ng ating Facebook privacy checkup, pwede niyo sundan tong tips na to. You can actually screenshot with this one para makapag-guide sa inyo later on. So we can also select review a few important privacy settings under your privacy section, and please do click next and answer the following questions about your settings. So, tandaan natin meron akong experience before na kung saan na-hack yung account ko. So, nag-require talaga sa akin to submit documentation such as information para mag-verify. So, wag pong hayaan na mangyari sa inyo yun. Kaya mahalaga that we are advocating this kind of conversations online because it will give us the peace of mind that we want, especially ngayon na we are facing a pandemic. Right? And another thing that when we talk about privacy checkup, ano ba yung privacy checkup tool na sinasabi natin? So merong different topics na makikita natin sa privacy checkups that you are seeing in your respective screens. And this way, kapag inaral natin to, kapag binasa natin to mga bagay na ito, dagdag kaalaman sa atin, we are actually strengthening our account security. So ano ba yung mga account security na yan? Number 1, who can see what we share or what you share online? So merong pang public at merong pang close friends at pang merong office friends natin or colleagues natin lang ang pwede makakita. Another information na parte ng privacy check-up is keeping our account secured. Paano ba tayo enabling our passwords, login alerts, yung mga stronger passwords natin, dyan, makikita natin yan dito. And how people can find you on Facebook. Okay, ayan. Ito, I would like to emphasize on this now kasi as we go publicly with respect to our respective online accounts, sometimes marami sa atin super public na yung mga accounts. So, if we are maintaining our social media accounts dahil kailangan with our work, pwede po nating galawin yung ating settings na kung saan pwedeng ang makapag-add lang sa inyo ay friends of friends or your close connections. And syempre, mahalaga din na when we do that, Facebook is actually doing a data settings review for all of us. And malaman natin ano ba yung meron tayo as part of our Facebook engagement or online engagement. So, bilang reminder lang, please don't forget to take a screenshot with this one. Or sa mga kakapasok lang, you can actually review our playback or replay later after we end our session for this morning. But just a reminder, always remember to secure our accounts. Make our accounts have stronger passwords. Do not forget to enable our login and logout alerts. Activate our login approvals. And syempre, log out our unused devices. So ano nga ba yung activating our login approval? So sa Facebook, pag ginamit po natin yan, merong mga pagkakataon na kung saan merong magpa-prompt sa atin kapag hindi familiar yung mismong setting natin. Kunwari, bumili tayo ng bagong gadget or bagong phone. Ngayon, dun sa phone na yon hindi pala naka-download pa si Facebook at gusto nating i-access yung account natin. So, magpa-prompt po yung ating account para malaman na ikaw ba itong gumagamit o ikaw ba yung nag-a-attempt na mag-open ng account. So, dyan po natin magagamit yung or maximize yung login approvals. And syempre, yung logging out naman with our unused devices, kung previously, nakalimutan na natin kung saang accounts ba tayo o kaninong laptop ba tayo or tablet ba tayo gumamit, we can actually log out all of those unused devices sa ating security settings. And with that, pwede nating ma-wipe out itong mga information na to na kung saan pwedeng mag-automatic. Pagka inactivate natin yung logging out of unused devices, automatic po yan pag in-okay natin or in-approve natin, lahat po ng mga hindi natin ginagamit ng mga devices will automatically log out our accounts. So mahalaga po yan. Okay? Siyempre, as part of our securing our accounts, siyempre security check-up. And if you are having problems in terms of accessing these kinds of information, accessing problems in maximizing and securing your respective accounts, meron naman tayong help button ng Facebook. Ayan. As part of our links, ayan, www.facebook.com/help, or you can also check with www.facebook.com/hack. Okay, don't forget lamang po, I would like to reiterate when we enter these kinds of links, do not forget to include yung security feature which is HTTPS natin na nakikita din sa screens natin. So malaman natin kung secured yung website na pinupuntahan natin kapag ginagamit po natin yung HTTP. Ayan. Tapos yung colon po para ma-access natin sila. Usually pagka in-enter po nyo yan, automatic sa desktop or sa laptop ninyo, makikita ninyo yung HTTPS kasi part din ng security protocols yan sa paggamit din ng online platforms. So, ano ba yung mga questions that we can maximize or check doon sa ating Facebook help? So, ano ba yung mga names allowed on Facebook? Are we allowed to use the names of our idols? Yung mga artista na tuwang-tuwa tayo, are we allowed to do that? Again, pwede po nating ma-check yan sa ating Facebook Health Center. How do I choose or how do we choose where what I get notifications about on Facebook? Kapag ba meron tayong nilike na isang page, automatic na mag-notify sa atin, o ayaw na natin makita yung mga ganitong kind of content, maybe we can actually maximize this by getting notifications sa Facebook accounts natin. Saan ba natin makikita yung Facebook settings natin? Kung medyo nalilito kayo, nahihirapan kayo how to access our Facebook platform, we can maximize the Facebook Health Center. Okay? Or questions such as, how do we change or reset our Facebook passwords? Pwede po natin malaman yan with our Facebook Help Center. Or, meron tayong mga questions such as, why am I seeing an error message saying I can reply to a conversation on Facebook? Oh, so, pwede nating tignan yan. So, sa platform po natin, pwede nating puntahan yung Help Center, nakikita nyo sa screen po ninyo. Diyan po natin ma-access yung mga information about those kinds of questions. Okay? And, meron tayong mga frequently asked questions dyan na kung saan we will be able to allow ourselves to customize our engagement on platform na yan. Okay? Next. And as part of our summary, ayan. So, malapit na po tayong matapos for this morning. Tandaan po natin that when we talk about our digital footprint, pagiging maingat, dalawang bagay lang yung kailangan nating tandaan. Number one, ano ba yung digital identity? Just a recap, our digital identity is anything or everything that we post online, enter and share using the internet. It can be in a form of posting memorandum or memoranda from the government employees, or posting announcements will always be part of our digital identity, o kaya naman sharing yung different content. Katulad niyan, kanina before we start, merong mga nag-share ng link how to join our discussion for this morning. That becomes part of our digital identity. And o kaya naman, meron tayong mga questions, o kaya yung mga nag-good morning, ganyan, or taking into consideration, sharing our insights with our discussion for this morning while we are doing it online, becomes part of our digital identity. And second point lang din, when we talk about pagiging maingat, our digital footprint is answering the biggest question or the most difficult question of how do we protect our digital identity. And ito, din sa mga shinare ko sa inyo kanina, adjusting our privacy settings and reflecting on what we need to share and not share online, or the things that we need to post or not to post. Diba? Kung dati, ang question lang natin ay, is it something to say or not to say? This time, parte dapat ng personal check-up din natin ay, itong content ba na ito is something that I need to post online. Diba? So, in the words of, tama ba, Shakespeare, to be or not to be. And this time in our online platform, the question now will be to post or not to post. Ayan. O kaya to share or not to share as part of our discussion. And syempre, when we are doing this kind of conversations, katulad ng webinar na ito from DICT Mindanao Cluster 1, we wanted to really create a safe online environment. And by doing that, how to be responsible digital user is always a priority for all of us, especially from Digital Tayo team, because we wanted all of us, to really reflect on our digital self, which is being maingat. And our digital footprint will always be part of our history na, diba? Personal history. So let us make sure that we have this kinds of, yung insights na shinare ko sa inyo ngayong umaga will be helpful to really maximize our use of social media platforms. And syempre, mas maging matalino tayo as we engage online. Okay, and dahil dyan, maraming salamat to all of you guys in, of course, being part of our discussion. And now, we will be answering some questions. So if wala naman kayong question, again, you can proceed with our post-test dyan. Pero while we are answering, so I'll be giving you at least 5 minutes to do that, and we will be entertaining some questions as well para maganda naman yung discussion natin for this morning. So we can do multitasking if we want to. So tandaan lang po natin yung kanina, just don't forget to go to your Facebook Messenger, type yung digital tayo, and then put our test learn code there. It's AHA RA01. It's AHA RA01 to answer the post-test learn code natin for this morning. But, syempre for 5 minutes, ayan. So, we can start now the 5 minutes for the answering of our questions. But, for the meantime, I'll be entertaining now some of the Q&A questions while we are answering it. So, one question na nag-pop up is, sir, about being authentic self, don't you think somehow using an alias can also be one way of securing our profile? For instance, I've tweaked the spelling of my name in Facebook and uses partially concealed pictures and so that I won't be easily searchable and identified by strangers. Do you think this practice is acceptable? Ayan, normal question po ito ng mga Facebook users natin. Again, going back with our discussion kanina, as much as possible, we always encourage every Facebook users to please do use our authentic name. Okay? By using that, our authentic name, kasi tandaan po natin walang namang difference yung pagpapakilala natin personally and online environment. So as much as possible, let us use our authentic names or authentic self. And kung hindi naman kailangan yung full name nyo kasama middle name, but rather your nickname plus your surname, kasi para at least ma-identify kayo agad ano ba yung meron kayo o kayo ba talaga yung account na yon. That way ma-verify siya agad. Pero paano ba natin madadagdagan yung way na yan is to put in security features. So security features natin na yan, limit natin yung contacts natin. So yun nga, going back with our tips kanina, sharing yung mga post natin, kailangan ba publicly? O kaya kailangan ba lahat ng friend requests na sinesend sa atin or nakikita natin ay kailangan nating i-accept? So pwede natin yung gawin. Another thing is, we can always secure our privacy setup. Yung kayo na mga shinare ko sa inyo will actually help all of us or all of you na nakikinig ngayong umaga to really create this kind of online environment that we are advocating for. Siyempre, who gets you added, importante din yan. Ako, just to share with you some tips ng mga best practice from my end. I don't accept friend requests if kumbaga hindi ko pa talaga nakikilala yung tao. If siguro ngayon dahil online, usually mga threshold natin is kung merong at least kaya kong 7 engagements at nag-friend request, doon lang ako nag-a-accept. Para syempre, 'di ba? We protect our community, we protect our online self. So mahalaga that we protect our identity din as well. So pwede tayong magbigay ng mga ganyang mga opportunities as well. So again, maraming salamat to all of us, and we will be entertaining some of the questions, but this time I'll be, of course, calling in Miss May. Miss May, baka merong ibang mga questions then from our viewers that can also help us discuss for this morning. So again, maraming salamat to all of you. So Miss May, ayan.
Hello, sir. So those are just all the questions, sir, for today, based on our course monitors.
Ayan. So don't forget din po to answer our evaluation forms kung meron tayong maraming salamat din po sa lahat ng mga nanonood at ngayon ay nakikipag-participate with our discussion for this morning. Ayan, so para po sa mga ito po yung link ng ating evaluation sa DICT PES Evals. Unless meron po tayong bago, Miss May, we can share it. And para po dun sa mga nagkakaroon po ng problema in accessing our chatbot, lang po natin, restart lang po natin yung mismong application, i-remove lang po natin para at least makita natin. Alright.
So for the evaluation link po, for the certificate, we will have a separate link for that, and we'll be posting it on the comment section sa Facebook Live po natin.
Yeah. So some questions lang po. Meron pa ba mga questions? I guess, paano kung na-accept na po yan? Question from Miss Marilyn Castellan from Zoom. Paano po kung na-accept na po siya pero di mo pa nakikilala mabuti kasi nga kailangan mo i-accept dahil ang Facebook is our public information officer is for public information, need mo siya i-accept pero minsan sa mga post mo. Well, kung hindi kung kailangan po siya because of your work, again, you can limit our participation with respect to our contents para it will be able to help us then to monitor, kumbaga ma-check lang natin. Kung na-accept na natin siya dahil kailangan because of work opportunity, okay lang po 'yun. It only means na legit naman yung yung connection na inyong inaccept. So okay lang po siya. Basta tandaan lang po natin yung mga shinare ko po sa inyong tips kanina, such as yung privacy settings natin, kasi it will help us in engaging with our audience. So okay lang po yan. Basta tandaan lang po natin na we can create yung mga security features that I shared earlier to help us out. So some of the questions pa na meron pa ba? Punta naman tayo sa Facebook. Sa Facebook Live. Ayan. So as shared by Sir Eric, ito po yung yung ating para sa mga online surveys or yung ating evaluation survey. Ayan po, nakita sa section po ng Facebook Live. You can click po that link. Alright. So meron ba tayong mga questions? So shout out po from Miss Chodora watching from Abu Dhabi. Good morning. Good morning po. Alright. Meron pa ba? Ayan. So far, wala na po tayong masyadong questions for this morning. And we hope that you were able to have a good session with me this morning. Maraming salamat. And of course, we would like to honor the Department of Information and Communications Technology, especially with Mindanao Cluster 1, for inviting us and allowing us to be part of our session for this morning. So maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. All right. So I'll be turning over now to Miss May for some announcements po.
Thank you, sir. That was truly informative. It's great to have you again today, sir. Thank you again for sharing your knowledge and expertise to that very useful and enlightening lecture. And we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude by awarding the Certificate of Appreciation. Certificate of Appreciation is hereby awarded to Chard Amazona for sharing his insights and expertise as resource speaker during the conduct of webinar on Maingat, Protecting Your Digital Footprint on August 26, 2020 via Zoom video communications. Given this 26th day of August 2020, signed by Maria Teresa M. Camba, Regional Director, DICT Mindanao Cluster 1, and Jose Carlos P. Reyes, Bureau Director, DICT Cybersecurity Bureau. Thank you so much, Sir Chard.
Thank you, Miss May. Thank you din po sa ating mga viewers. Yay! So happy Wednesday morning.
All right. And now to officially close this training series, we are pleased to have today our DICT Mindanao Cluster 1 Regional Director, Director Maria Teresa M. Camba.
Thank you, May. Hi, Chad. Good morning to everyone. The past 3 weeks, we have covered 4 sessions. Nakaapat na pala tayo. We had Mapanuri, Be a Critical Thinker by Angelo Andres. We had session 2, Magalang, You as a Digital Citizen, from Chard, the same resource person that we have today. Digital Parenting on session 3 by Shale Albao, and again Chard for our last session, Maingat, Protecting Your Digital Footprint. We're very happy to have reached so many participants from different parts of the country. And I'm proud to say that this has been one of the most participated webinars of Mindanao Cluster 1. We have released a total of 9,780 e-certificates for the last 3 sessions alone. And we have reached over 30,000 views per webinar. No? So siguro pati yung ngayong webinar na to ay makakaabot tayo ng over 100,000 views sa Facebook. We wouldn't have reached this number if not for our partnership with Cybersecurity Bureau and Digital Tayo of Facebook. So maraming salamat sa inyo. Thank you very much to our partners. And we look forward to working with you again in future webinars as we equip our learners, our teachers, and our other participants with the much needed skills for becoming a responsible digital citizen and creating a safe community online. I would also like to give my appreciation to all our participants, especially those who joined us from session 1 until session 4. Your heartwarming comments on your evaluation and on Facebook are affirmations that we're doing the right thing and that we were able to help you, especially during this critical time. I would just like to share that according to a survey from previous years, an average Filipino spends 10 hours and 2 minutes online every day, the highest among internet users worldwide. And the same survey showed that Filipinos are the heaviest users of social media, spending an average of 4 hours and 12 minutes every day, much higher than the worldwide average of 2 hours and 16 minutes. The numbers would even be higher if the survey is done this year, with all of us, a lot of us going online for our activities than before. All the more, we need to continue to strengthen Filipinos' understanding of the cyberspace and help them become more responsible digital citizens. We have more learning sessions and webinars for you, so watch out for our announcements in our Facebook page. Lastly, I'd like to thank our webinar team, Course Officer Roderick Cruz, our MC Moderator May Dedoro, and all the support staff working behind the scene. Well done, team, and congratulations to all. We hope to see you again online in future webinars. Stay safe, everyone. Mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Thank you so much, Director Kamba, for your closing remarks. And before we let everyone go po, can we have a quick picture taking with our regional director, our speaker, and also our webinar teams from Digital Tayo from Facebook and also from the DICT Cybersecurity Bureau. I guess we have Ma'am Flor. I would like to request everyone to open your cameras. Okay. All right, 1, 2, 3, smile. Thank you din sa lahat ng participants. Nakabit pala ako. We hope that you learn a lot from this training series and that you will be able to apply what you learned. And together, let's build a community of responsible digital citizens. Though this is not the end, though this is the end of this series, learning doesn't end today. Stay tuned to our Facebook page, DICT Mindanao Cluster 1, for our upcoming webinars. And I would just like to promote this big online event that we're having this week. Can you flash it on the screen? All right, just visit the page, our Facebook page. So that is an in-country webinar, BIMP IAGA in the new normal, from the ICT infrastructure cluster perspective on August 28, 2020 from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Save the date. Well, this webinar will be featuring discussions on the impacts of COVID-19 on the programs, activities, and undertakings of the Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, East ASEAN Growth Area, or BIMP IAGA. All right. So for our evaluation link, for our Zoom participants, so the moment you leave the webinar room, you will be redirected to our evaluation link. So that would be including the quiz So 70% is the passing score for you to receive your certificate. And for our Facebook Live participants, we will be posting it on the comment section. Thank you so much, everyone. And before we close, so I will just leave this very unfamiliar line that you'll hear from me. Think positive, but stay negative. Have a great day.